Vigorous ride looking for clear running. McDonald said go now and aft cabin. And the favourite races 2 lengths clear. Zoo Tiger goes to second. Then came Communist, but it's a great return to racing for aft cabin. A big winner.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. Gee, I think I've had something in my breakfast this morning. Someone might have spiked my breakfast. I'm going fast today. Hard, fast. That's what it's going to be like at Flemington too. Dry, hard, fast. Walty.
I'm here in my T-shirt and thongs. I'm in my Flemington members attire. So, we're all ready to go this week. I've had my pre-workout, so no holds barred.
Beautiful. I haven't really been speaking to DK off air, so a little bit of an asterisk here. Anything might come out of our mouths for the next 15 minutes, so it could be a great start of the show. DK, we've got you before another afternoon at the Asian Racing Conference. Surely you're a starter there, mate.
Hello, Scoot. Well, no, I wouldn't have minded going, but I swerved at the $3,000. The $3,000 fee was a bit much for me, but I probably would have been the Lone Ranger. The Lone Ranger forking out for himself though. Of the 700 attendees, how many you reckon got the $3,000 out of their own pocket? I'd say 0. So it'll all be funded. It'll be junkets for all the jurisdictions and everything. Big junket down here. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind going on. They're going out to Sunday. They're doing the Lindsay Park by Mitchelton Winery tour for 180. That could have got me, but no, the $3,000. I'd rather give it a send at Wodonga on Friday. I think, Scoot.
DK, being the punter's punter, I thought you'd just be a walk-up star. You know, you help with the deductions and scratchings mess. I thought you'd be representing us, the punter, the people that pay for the show. They
call it. I had a look at the rundown. They had the punter stuff yesterday. What they call it? A wager, a fan. There was nothing. There was no word punter used. It was like, you know, with that sort of section of the ecosystem they sort of don't like talking about and discussing. So it was all about pari-mutuel. I mean, they're talking about the pari-mutuel, for God's sake. Seriously, it's a dead duck down here, absolute dead duck. It's gone. You know, the Hong Kong, it's captured market. They all bet on the tote. So down here, everyone bets fixed odds. It's completely irrelevant, really. I don't know why they're spending all the energy trying to fire it up again. But no, mate, the punter. If there was a punters forum, I would have liked to have been there. But I think we've done pretty well over the years with deductions and MBLs and things like that. So.
If you're gonna revive the tote, you're gonna revive the exotics. That's it. You're not going to worry really about the win and place. And all it does to me, I think 17.5 is actually an increase in the takeout for us. So all they're actually hiding by this increased pool is hiding increased takeout, which is obviously higher than 17.5 plus rounding. So anyway, is there an elephant in the room? We're going to talk about it, that we're a man down, and
we'll get to that. I just wouldn't mind a little bit of. I just don't know where this rejuvenate the tote has come from.
We're going to talk about serious things. All right.
I just don't understand. I see.
Well,
Kings and Richie.
What do you put in the line with changing the dress code? Is that something like two?
Well, they're
things?
both as useless. No, they're both useless. So the tote pulls as a punter. I'm not a massive punter, but I have a bit of a swing every now and then. Tote pulls are no good to me. All the big boys would get better rebates and percentages, and that's what sort of.
You're right, spot on, Scoot. Only person that benefits the Jelkos of the world. That's all that benefit.
But yeah,
big pools, big players.
Exotics are different because we've got options.
Who bets on exotics on the totes?
No, you can't because there's no pools. But I can't bet exotics with corporate. So why wouldn't I want to bet with the totes? So therefore, it would be a benefit to a lot of people if they rejuvenated the exotics. So you could at least bet into them. At the moment, it's not covered by MBLs or whatever. So I can't have a Quinella, Quadrella, multi. Can't have anything. So of course it's different to win and place, where at least you got some places you can get on for a little bit, middle tote or best tote if you're lucky, and then you got fixed odds options. But with exotics, you've got none. So to me, and it's so easy to revive the exotics. You can do it in 5 seconds, whereas the win and place pools, it's very different.
I'll be disappointed if all they come out with over the next couple of weeks is, let's rejuvenate the tote and TAB. It's just a waste of time and more like hot air and fluff. Because you can't just get someone from Hong Kong to come in here and say, tote betting's the go, and then Matt Welsh and everyone turns around and goes, that's a great idea, let's rejuvenate the tote. I'll tell you where it'll go. It'll go absolutely nowhere. A little bit like Racing Australia putting out a survey. They got all the right answers, or everyone agreed on everything, and then guess where that went? Absolutely nowhere. We're not Hong Kong. We haven't got two meetings a week. We don't have the depth and liquidity, and their foreign exchange, their exchanges over there, Citybet and whatever, that's just the dumping group. They handle all the money over there. That's an illegal exchange. Here, you've got an exchange that no one wants to sort of jump in bed with, and that's transparent. It's fixed odds. I can still play in that market, and it rewards turnover on a fair and democratic sort of system. So there's no trick shots there, and it's basically known. So it's just so murky, tote betting, and like we're past that. We're done with that, and the market's trending completely the other way here.
If you were
spot on,
if you were going to change it, so I think 14. Like I'm going to not quote these because I'm not sure. I checked them yesterday, but I can't remember. I think New South Wales, Victoria's got the highest takeout anyway, and this global thing is it will increase. Like that's so they're really hiding a bigger takeout. If you were going to make the pools bigger and drop it from 14.5 to 10 or something, then it would be of interest. But if you're increasing it, it's actually hurting. I don't see any upside to it whatsoever.
There's a lesson there in long-term JVs and things like that. Like I know it would have been their predecessors who did the 20-year deal attaching them to the industry funding to the tote pari-mutuel, and now look at it. It's gone in the water. Like you can't do long-term deals, and the game changes so much so quickly. Like absolute lesson. That's one of the reasons they'll be trying to revive it because they bloody joint venture. I don't know when that gets up or when it finishes or
next year,
whatever. But is it?
I think it's
for the pari-mutuel.
Yeah, I think it's next year, DK. And then
it was signing it was like a 25-year thing, wasn't it? They signed it in 2000, the 25-year joint venture or something.
And that's the other thing. I think New South Wales are tied to a 99-year agreement with Tabcorp, and you can see what effect that's having. Look, they're absolutely stifled up there. They think that they thought that odds and evens was innovation, and that was going to fund all their pop-up races. So
and they block progress to other options as well.
Well,
like
exactly.
You've got to say that's behind when you're trying to work out what's behind moves they make with other organisations like you're saying, exchanges, things like that. It can only be to block a lot of the time. It's very weird.
It's just crazy. And then the other thing that came out was a report I think Paul Tatnell posted on racing.com, and there's this big war. It sounds like it's everyone versus PVL again, and that's how he likes to, I guess, paint the picture anyway. But I think there was a resignation from someone in Tasmania, and she sort of spilled the beans on Racing Australia, how they hadn't met in about 12 months or something like that. And it's just comical. Like New South Wales has gone against the pattern. I think we spoke about it on last week's show, and then they're just creating their own problems by trying to go against it and do their own thing and run their own race anyway. So,
he won't show up to a meeting, is what they're saying, unless he controls the narrative, controls the questioning, controls who is beneficiary of anything who has access to whatever's spoken about. It's all got to be a completely controlled environment, otherwise he won't even step in the room.
Exactly. And then how can you even talk about tote betting if you can't get all the states to line up for a national tote anyway? And at the moment, they're all on these different deals, state by state, people on different rebates as it is. The whole thing's a mess. And if they can't even run Racing Australia, you're a million to one to get the pari-mutuel up and cranking. When you're on the outside, it's just so obvious how poorly run it is. I sort of pose a question to you, DK. Could you name someone that could run Racing Australia and pull all these people into line?
Well, lucky I saw that question, so I did do some form on it, and I thought the bloke who's got the best current form would be Vladimir Zelensky. Like he's dealing with Putin, and that give him that's a great form line to do with the Landies. So, Vladimir Zelensky's the main man. But in all seriousness, maybe someone like Martin Bakula or something like that, some sort of bloke with sort of good level of politics and loves the sport. I read Snowy Clark's article, and he it's, as I was going to say, there's only one thing more gone than the pari-mutuel at the moment. That's Racing Australia in its current form. It's just cast, right? They're both completely cast. So he's sort of saying there's talks underway and lobbying behind the scenes at a federal level to get something done with a federal body that's based in Canberra that doesn't have the same impasses that Racing Australia does, and then they can actually tell Volandis what to do rather than having to
Well, at the end of the day, he is an employee. Volandis, he's an employee. I don't know who has the power to affect that, but he is an employee. I don't know who's above him and pointing him in the direction that he sort of heads. But
apart from yourself, Walt, who do you think, you can't nominate yourself, but who do you think should run Racing Australia? I want to nominate
myself.
Well, that was you were gonna say I should do it, weren't you?
Well, honestly, it's not ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous because at least I'm across all the facets, and everyone's not ignored. It's you need someone that's independent to at least get in there and rustle it up. And I can't see anyone who's a part of anything that's in there. Anyone. anyone who's been in the current system can't be the person.
He's no Dill, the poor bloke at the moment's no Dill. I mean, he's the ex-CEO of Racing Tasmania. But then it was thing that the lady who resigned yesterday from the board was the Tasmanian representative on the board. So with her bloke in charge, she still had to throw her hands in the air. For the same reason Massara did, So he just said, Massara said, I tried to reconcile and bring things together and it's just completely impossible. I hope new people have more luck at it than me. And she's saying, well, I don't know how long ago since Massara resigned and nothing's changed. So.
What you kind of said was hit the nail, though, that the structure of Racing Australia and the powers that they have has to be revisited before anything can happen anyway, because that's it. Like, if they can all throw the toys out of the cot and say we don't want to be involved, then what's the point?
These sort of say might be come under, say the Department of Agriculture or something like that, have the Racing Australia body and things like that. So anyway, I was just a bit of what's going on up, but hopefully there's movement there because it's just cast at the moment, current form.
You see, you do need some sort of big get together of all parts of racing to sort of voice their current concerns, because at the moment I think like a lot of people are scared. A lot of people are their pride's holding them back. There's a lot of people in positions they're too scared to talk about, and then the industry's concentrating on dress codes and the tote, like you say, when there's a lot of bigger problems and bigger issues that everyone should be aware of at least, and then fighting to right the wrongs, because there's a lot of people close to going out the door.
Definitely on a nice edge. I'd probably nominate, I think the person that I'd say would be Josh Blanksby from Melbourne Racing Club. He's a lawyer. He's got experience at Betfair. He understands clubland. He understands wagering inside out, importantly. And I think he's just a really level-headed bloke that could take the game forward. And I think he's got the pills to stand up to anyone as well, and he's got the intellect. So I'd say he's a standout, but he just needs to have like a sharp sword or a sharp axe if you're going to put someone like that in that position, and they need to figure out to water down the veto to make sure that everyone around Australia's got some sort of vote that matters and work it out.
All you need is someone exactly like you've commented, but that is impartial and is totally Switzerland, as in they're for the industry as a whole, not any particular region of it, and away we go. It's not that complex. Wagering drives the industry. You need trainers, you need owners, you need
patent
breeders to be probably lower down the list and understand what is important to the industry. Is it prize money? Is it wagering? What is it? And then drive it forward. It's not rocket science, really, isn't it? As soon as you take personal gain or opinions out of it.
That's enough of the serious chat. We've got Nico getting ready in the background. I think he's.
He's here. I thought he was dead.
He might have the spicy.
What were you saying, Wild? I thought he might have been, because he's said 2 weeks. I thought he might be boycotting me or giving me the wide berth or something.
I was told he was on the head of the picket line. Bring Bella back, or I'm not coming back.
Oh no,
that's what I was told.
We're not going to talk about this, are we?
That's what I was told.
Well, no, it's the biggest issue. It was the biggest issue in racing yesterday. Like, Scoot, come on, this is the issues part of the show. I think I was very surprised it wasn't on the run sheet. Thankfully, Wolf's brought it up. Yeah, huge dramas yesterday. And then Bella's been given the lemonade, and they brought Jane back to the midweeks. Bella's very popular and got some good friends, obviously.
Trav,
including Nico and Jackson and a few others. So they're a small little tight-knit community, those yard watchers. Wow. So when we've got one of the main men, so very important issues.
Nico, just before you talk on this, I think Jane's been on and off maternity leave for the last 2 or 3 years. She's done really well to have 2 kids and look after the biggest one at home, Brad.
Yeah, back to back. Yeah.
And I think the Queen's just returning to her throne, and she's been the number one yard watcher for a very long time, and she's just going back to rule the roost there. Nico?
Look, I don't know what's happened there. I'm just going to mind my own business in the mounting yard. That's going to be me for the next few weeks. Just head down and watching the horses. I'm not going to get involved in any of the controversy, but there was plenty happening, wasn't there?
Nico, I don't know if you tuned into the rest of the show last week, but we've become a big, bold show about opinions and big balls, and we got a new sponsor. We got Stanley have come on board, Stanley Tape Measured. So we're gonna measure Walt's balls this week, because he did come out and say that Sunshine in Paris could be the next Winx.
Has it got millimetres?
It's got millimetres. It needs micro-millimetres or something. So a big shout out to Stanley Tape Measures. These things are unreal. Don't leave them around your kids. They can slice their fingers open. But no sitting on the fence. You've been warned, Nico, so that's your first warning. If you get 3, We'll keep you in the dungeon.
New South
forever.
Wales have cast mounting yard people completely, haven't they? I think after Lizzie, who I don't know what her qualifications were, but she's gone out wide. And what have they got left? I think Ronnie Duffussy's the closest thing we've got to a mounting yard judge in Metro New South Wales, and he's pretty good, but he's obviously got his tongue tied too. And there's a couple of half decent ones out wide in the country, but the rest they've just given up.
Well, that's why you need stuff like Nico and Yardman.
100%. I'm not saying it's a very underutilized. What do you want to call it? Form factor or whatever. It's a shame that they don't actually budget in putting someone in there with a bit of ability.
They're a very, very tight knit crew. So I mean, you can see why there's drama. One of their own, cop the lemonade. Like, they're up in arms. So I'm just Nico, like around the manning yard yesterday. Like, I don't know. Jackson wasn't happy, and your good self, good me, watching any. What was the vibe out there yesterday? Was
anger,
shock, or anger?
Well, I actually wasn't there, so I couldn't comment. So I was at home doing off the TV yesterday because I've been battling a flu. So hopefully we're sweet for Saturday. But like I said, I'll just keep my head down and mind my own business. I don't want to get too involved in any of that.
I'll translate that. He was at Parliament House picketing. He was there. Bring Bella back. Bring Bella back.
Jane tipped out an $11 winner. I took $10. I took unders, gargantuan or whatever it's called. She said it paraded grouse.
Can we get a sponsorship, trumpet sponsorship here too?
Hey?
Can we get a trumpet
I'm
sponsorship?
just saying she found a $10 winner, and that's a very good effort. Back.
She's got 3 kids to feed.
A little stable too, Scoot. Very little small stable. I think only got a couple of horses, and they can turn one out pick of the yard. Just shows what great horse people we've got, and it got the money.
Speaking of money, you should spend some down at the Comics Lounge, Melbourne's home of comedy in Errol Street. So if you've just lost your job, maybe you should go to the Comics Lounge and have a bit of a giggle there. And you can even get their regulars. So private function, DK's 60th. We're going to get a couple of comedians and we're going to hire them out and have a private function.
Pull back 10 years off that, please, Scoot.
Oh, sorry, what did I say? 40th.
Only coming up to the big 5-0.
Oh,
big 5-0.
Why 6-0? Did you give him?
Huh?
What did you give him?
I meant a rolling series. We're going to have one where it's going to be a rolling series of events for a whole week. My 50th.
My old man's went for about 3.5 months. I think he's 50th.
This show's going to go for 3.5 months. Today's show. Donnie, 2 from 2 last week. He's not as confident, but the boy is back. Rupert's House off the map. The big goodbye. I think Angela Jones rode that. She's beautiful. She's dangerous when she's got Golan front runner. It's like they just let her go. You'd swear that they do. Queensland racing is something else. So it's good to torment Donnie with that. Walt, Rosehill this week. Why do you like betting at Rosehill?
Because you got to bet somewhere. What do you mean? No, Rosehill's all right. I prefer Randwick, but Rosehill's all right. So Rosehill's just you've got to actually rely on a bit more monkey, smurf, whatever you want to call them, piloting.
Nico, Jack and O last week via protest, launched it from the yard. I went again.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk about that as well. I think we were a bit lucky, to be honest. I didn't know if that was... So the more we talk about it throughout the week, I think everyone's of the opinion it should have been upheld. But at the time, I thought, gee, we might have got away with one there. But yeah, he was just in the zone on Saturday, Jack. That's one of the better parades I reckon I've ever seen from a horse. He was just completely in the zone. So I wasn't surprised that he won. And yeah, you don't have to win the race sometimes to get a collect. So it's a great game.
Crazy. Yeah?
Seriously, protest.
I can't pick him anymore. There was one
not even close.
There was one at Strathalbyn yesterday.
That would have been 20s 5 years ago. That uphill minimum 20s.
There was one at Strathalbyn yesterday, and the winner bumped into the second horse 4 or 5 times up the straight the whole way, and it's got beaten a nose, dismissed. I just don't know how that can happen.
But you're like, it's just exactly. You just don't.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
There's no consistency, whatever. But it is state title. It's just
I can't
not even
pick
worth talking about.
The old hashtag there are no stewards.
Oh, well, I think we just...
Reminds me of those days.
We should now be allowed to bet on them. If they're that random, please let us bet $50 maximum bet.
No, because then there will be bloody...
Yeah, well, why can't you?
Well, because it'll be...
why can't you?
I don't know.
Well,
you
why
like that tennis player. What about the tennis player the other day getting done for 135 rorts? Well, he retired 2 or 3 years ago and they've given him a life ban. So they never caught him once. He got 135 tennis rorts during his career they just found him guilty of. Gave him a small fine and banned him. He's already retired.
Davydenko?
That's the best. No, this was just a Willy Wombat.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Out wide.
Yeah.
If the Russians had you by the canisters, you'd put on as many rorts as you needed to.
Davydenko, what was he up a set and a break and he was 20-1 or something and the biggest hold in the history of tennis or something. They just kept laying him at $19 while he was up a set and a break. He was on an airplane an hour and a half later.
I'm going to email Andrew Jones and tell him that we need to bet on protest, and that'll spark interest with the new generation.
In thongs.
And with thongs.
You got to be in thongs to bet on the protests.
We might get a stand out in the GA and just get DK out there waiting for protests.
All this vintage. I mean, Nico, you'd be too young to remember, like when the rails bookies used to bet on protests in the 90s and 2000s, like it was huge. Like big middle rails, the prices would go up. Like as soon as they hit the line, protest siren and sound, they'd watch the replay, go and make up a price, whatever it is, and send their clerks to get outside the, sit outside the, get any mail outside the steward's room or anything like that, hear anything, get anything.
Be serious betting too, not the old $50 maximum bet. They were serious betting on the protest.
If the big punters were tied up, they'd try and save out and stuff like that.
100%.
It was huge.
What stopped it, DK? Was there a rort or who killed Bambi?
No, I'd have to do more. I'd have to ask someone. I might
tweet in.
Then someone, I'm going to the Betfair thing tonight. There might be someone there who knew that, one of the old bookies or something, Mark's the Imperial or something, so I might ask him.
Beautiful.
See what happened.
All right. Tristan had bet on it if he was allowed to. They're family owned and operated. TopSport, they've got the new app on the website. So they've had a complete reskin, same race multi, top 2, 3, 4. Just download the app and give it a run. They're up and betting for the weekend, so make sure you take them on. Nico, Flemington, couple of hot days. It's going to be road-like conditions, I would have thought, this Saturday. Fields look absolutely sensational. $25 a week for your stuff, or $3.50 for the rest of the Finn year. Are you excited to be getting out there despite being under a little bit of a cloud?
Yeah, we should be there, definitely. So, it's a tough day. It's a bloody tough day. I found bloody nature strip and that was about it. Like the rest of the races are $6 a field and tough. So, I think if we're getting out there and you're back with one or two winners, you could be able to fill up because I would assume you're finding horses at some decent prices, but it is a bit of a day where, you have the CS Hayes and the Vanity, those races are key lead-ins to the Australian Guineas. So it's a bit of a day you'll learn a bit more as well, just like last week. But there's probably not as many horses on this card that are bringing in that sort of summer form, fit and fresh. There's a lot of horses that are first up sort of and might be in need of a run. So I think the mounting will be pretty crucial on Saturday.
Outstanding. Let's have a look at the Talinder first. And Amur is favourite, $4.40. Maharaba, $5. Scorsese, $6.50. Extremely Wicked, $7.50. Ginger and Pink, $9 into $7.50. Princess Duello, $8.50. Rhodesian Red, $15. Hell Queen, $20. Tuxedo, $21. And then you've got Exposition, 26, Cracker Rib, 31, and Alfonso is $51, and that'll about do us there. Hey, we're going to have a couple of replays queued here. Maharaba, we're going to have a look at it on debut. It's fourth here, one back, and a bit like a drunken sailor this day, Nico, in the black and orange sleeves here, and then got a Godolphin horse running him down. Barber.
Yeah, I'm not sure this was the strongest race. I think Barber's probably a few lengths better than these horses, but this was his debut run. Like you said, he's all over the place there, even laid out and sort of hit Barber. I thought this run was pretty good. He's had a stable change. He's come down to Melbourne, now he's with Graham Begg. I think he may have improved a tad, this horse, looking at his trial leading into this preparation, which was very good at Cranbourne. He just sort of sat wide and cruised the line. I mean, it was an effortless piece of work here. Like I said, I think that stable change of environment, and having that run in the summer and then coming back now as an autumn 2-year-old, he looks pretty big compared to a lot of his rivals here, especially when you get down to the straight and you can sort of see him next to all the other horses. So I think he's sort of set for a big run here first up. He's already been 8 into 5. I think that's probably about his right price, $4 to $5. I don't think you ought to be getting involved much shorter than that. I'm not sure he's one of our better 2-year-olds, but I just think he's set up well for Saturday to be running a big race. They've obviously had the stable change. I'll be imagining they'd want to strike pretty quickly with him, and here he is in the orange with the nose roll down the outside and just charging to the line late. I thought that was a pretty hot piece of work. So on a day where it's pretty tricky, I thought this 2-year-old race there was probably a few angles because he's a horse who has some progression and has trialled very well leading into this. And I thought the other horse who might have something on is the Waller horse, Exposition. I think he's come back better in this preparation. He just looking at him in his jump outs. He looks stronger. It looks like he's sort of put on a lot of weight, which I think is a good thing. I thought his most recent jump out was pretty hidden. Typical Waller, he hasn't really asked him for a huge effort, but it looks like there's something under the hood. It's sort of thought at $26, he could be a big improver, and he comes out of a pretty hot 2-year-old race back in the spring where he didn't look like he was a a spring 2-year-old, and autumn might be more his go. Even number 5, Taquito, comes out of a pretty hot form race, that Chairman Stakes. So I think that form could be proved to be pretty good come Blue Diamond Day with VC and Zolfica. So I thought there was a few angles here to probably get a more beat. He's got no figures. The form around him just isn't really stacking up. I think he's got some talent, but I don't really want to be on him at favourite. So yeah, Maharaba, Taquito, and maybe Exposition for me in a pretty sort of deep race, but I think that they all represent a bit of value.
2 questions. DK, the nose roll on Maharaba. He still threw his head up and when he bounced out of that barrier trial. What did you make of that?
Yeah, not great. Not great for 1,200 anyway. What's this, 11, isn't it? So 11 down the straight. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got issues with his manners. We saw it on debut. But yeah, I mean, he responded, even though he was a bit keen, it didn't sap his finish or anything. He was very strong late, but yeah, mate. I mean, Peter Moody puts him on everything, but I hate him, personally, hate him. But it just means that they just needed to drop their head more and teach him to settle. So whether the manners bring him undone or not, but as he said, his last 50 metres, 100 metres there was very good. So, no, not a big fan of the nose roll myself, Scoot.
Nico, other question. James McDonald not riding Exposition. C. Newitt's got the ride, and he's gone for the blue horse, the Godolphin horse, J-Mac. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I did look into that. I think Froggy's rode it in its jump outs, so I would imagine he's done the work, so he keeps the ride. That's what I thought when I watched the jump out anyway. And he's probably not going to knock back Godolphin at the moment, is he, J-Mac? They've got a few horses he probably wants to stick on. So, Amer's like hard to knock. Like, he's won 2 races. There's no sort of times out of his races. He beat Some People Call Me. He was sort of flogged the other day in the prelude, so the form around him is questionable, but he's pretty professional, and he does find the line. So, like, he's probably in the finish, but I thought as a favourite, you could probably find something to beat him.
I heard Cummings say he hasn't shown him, even though he's won, he hasn't shown him at the races what he's shown him at home yet.
Okay.
And if he runs well here, he's a very good chance to back up next week. And they've got a good record on backing him up on the week back up. A 2-year-old, like Ingratiating, just got beat. He said he wished he backed up Microphone last year, would have won. If it runs well here, it will very good chance to back up into the Blue Diamond.
A roughie that sort of piqued my interest was Hell Queen, Nico. Ben Brisbane yard, I think Craig Williams sticks. What do you think of that trial? Did you see its trial or not got to that?
Yeah, I watched the trial. Yeah, I thought it was solid without being, it wasn't of the level of Maharaba, but we actually backed her last start each way when she sort of fell into a hole behind Charmstone. So I've got a bit of time for her from a tight point of view. I'm interested to see if she's come on at all since the spring. I don't think she'll have to be honest. I think if she holds that level, she's probably be good enough to win races like this. If she's here cranked up, and Williams sticking is probably a good sign for the camp. He rode it in the trial. They brought it down from, where's he trained, Wangaratta or Wodonga? They brought it to Geelong to trial. So they obviously wanting to give her a bit of more exposure to getting away from home and all those kind of things. He's a good trainer, Brisbane. He needs a good horse to sort of really put him on the map. This could be it, to be fair.
One of DK's men, Ben Brisbane.
Yes, Ben Brisbane. I just wish his strike rate was a bit better, but overall. But he's another one. He's like Prushka. They're just not there early in the prep, and then starts warming them up, 3rd and 4th up. So
maybe one to watch for later. All right, let's have a look at the big race, the Lightning Stakes. Nature Strip $1.85 to evens. Coolangatta $7. Maharabi $8. I Wish I Win $12. Bella Nipotina $13. Rockin' Horse $13. Just seems to go around big odds all the time, that horse. Bonus, not just won a waltz, $13. Baller $18. September Run 26. Mullane 51 and Fire 71. We're going to have a look at the barrier trial here of Nature Strip. 3 horses here. There was September Run and Rockin' Horse. Nico, you think the 8-year-old's ready to fire first up?
Oh, I think he is off this jump out. And even his trial up in Sydney was pretty hot. So I think it's just a matter if he's fully still with us. The spring, I don't think he ran poorly in any of those races by no means, but it probably wasn't as dominant as the market was expecting, like starting short price favourite in the Everest and then the VRC Sprint Classic. I think it's an easier task for him first up at 1,000, 1,200 too. Like, you look at his recent 1,000-metre Flemington record, like he won the Lightning 2 years ago. He should have won the Lightning last year probably. And I thought this piece of work was pretty hot from him, especially late, where he just sort of puts him away under a hold, as you'd expect from him. But look, leading in, I don't think there's any knocks. Like, if you're looking to knock him off the trial or anything like that, like, the horse does look like he's going very well. I suppose it's just the price. I think you'll get closer to sort of 230, 240 on the day. I can't see him starting evens. Whether they really come for something, I think he just drifts. I think the 1,000 metres first up is definitely the key for mine. I think he can probably control the race. I don't know if Coolangatta and Moravi want to go take him on first up. And then aside from those two, there's no speed in the race. So the rest of them are back markers. They're probably his two key dangers. And maybe one of them does look to sort of, go up forward early and take him on a bit and sort of bring him undone that way. But you even saw first up last preparation, like, he took a sit and sort of sat fourth, and he was way too good for him. So I would be imagining if he just brings that form that he had in the spring, not even the best of Nature Strip, I think he'll be winning. 240 would probably get me, like that sort of price. I don't know if I want to get involved at evens before seeing me in the yard. And that'll probably be the telling point how 40 is sort of. Last probation, he wasn't very forward at all for this race, and you could tell they were sort of looking for bigger things down the track, like going to winning another TJ and going to Ascot. I'm just wondering if this preparation they just want to get a few runs on the board, and he's in that similar condition to what he was 2 years ago when he was on the Lightning, when he was pretty much cranked up and ready to go. So the yard will be telling. I don't think I could back anything to beat him. Moravi's jumped out well. She's probably the only horse in the race who I think has legitimate Group 1 talent like Nature Strip at this distance. Her win in the Oakley Plate was huge. I don't think she quite sees out 1,200 like last start, so you can probably forgive that. And before that, she had a massive picket fence. So it wouldn't shock me if she, if it take Nature Strip out, you'd probably be looking to back her. But she's had a bit of time off, and just sort of how forward she is as well. And if this is just a bit of a hit out to sort of go to a Galaxy or a Newmarket or something like that, second or third up, my users generally don't have them at their top first up, but she's probably the danger. I Wish I Win's got serious talent, but I don't think it's 1,000 metre horses. This was 1,100. He's probably more in the game. He did trial very well behind Giga Kick and Coolangatta, who's also trialled well leading to this prep. I just don't know if that 3-year-old form is it's good, but I don't think she's the best of them. So that night she won at the Valley, she was pretty blessed. So the way I sort of read the race is you're back in Nature Strip to probably run up to what he did last spring. And I think if he brings that level, he wins. And any better than that, he'll probably just kill him. So I thought $2 is probably about his right price, but I think he'll get better. I think sort of 230 might be SP.
Walt, you're scribbling a lot of things.
No, I Wish I Win's the only horse that interests me. 1,000 metres around a bend, I wouldn't be. 1,000 metres down the straight just adds interest. It's not a horse that you could step into with huge confidence, but it's going to be super strong. It's got that turn of foot. It's not a grinding miler. It's a turn of foot. Maybe runs a mile, but probably 1,200. It's 2 for 2, even if it was in New Zealand. So it's the only horse that really stands out as a scary, scary horse in the race. Could be the blowout.
What about bonus notches? I see you've written that down.
No, just right. I don't really. I think the target for this horse has changed a few times, which I don't like. I'm not a big. I think Matty Smith's more of a. Even though he's probably got this horse primed, trying to get it to stud and all that sort of stuff. His horses normally sort of improve with racing. So drawn widest, it's going to give him a start. It's one of my favourite horses, but it's not something that stands out that I want to back it at this level. Over 1,000 down the straight. I think I Wish I Win's got a bit more quality to it at this stage, and just the right draw to camp in behind him, and things go its way. It's the one I think could give him a scare.
And I think they're training it more as a sprinter, I think, this time around. So I think they're going to keep it, 1,100, 1,100, 1,200, and they're not going to stretch it back out.
And if that's the case, if 1,200 sort of their ceiling, longest goal, that's an even better thing for this horse to be ready to run well over 1,000. If it was sort of getting ready for a mile prep, you'd be more scared that it's, got too many miles and its legs are ready for 1,000. But if it's nice and fresh, could be dangerous.
I would have thought Morabi, I Wish I Win, Bonus Notches, and Rockin' Horse were the only 4 big major dangers for Nature Strip, and I was probably against Coolangatta and Bella Nipotina, perhaps. But I think that's a good little summary of the race. Nico, you gonna hang around for a bit of Sydney, or you too under the weather? What are you going to do?
What have you got? What are we previewing Sydney? If we're talking about Af Cabin, I'll hang around.
Yes. Oh, puntingform.com.au is the best form guide in the business. Nico loves it. I love it. DK loves it. We all love it. So make sure you check that out. So they've done a reskin. Old.puntingform.com.au also works. So big transition, big changes, and huge improvements. So make sure you check out Punting Form. And if you need someone to help you figure it all out, Shane Baker offers a free tutorial if you get one of the good packages. So make sure you check that out. Rosehill on Saturday. Last week, well, you're on fire in Secret, Sunshine in Paris, little Cornell there, Animo. How did you find them all? It was very impressive.
I just tapped into Nico's emails.
Blue jacket.
Blue jacket. Put the blue jacket on. How good's Nash?
You made the big statement. Sunshine in Paris. I thought she got a peach ride from Ryan
I loved
Maloney.
that I got potted for it. That was the beautiful part, saying that she was a good horse. Like, it's gone from having its first prep sort of extended. It's won at Canberra. Then it's got beat. I think it got beat. Where did it get beat?
Doomben.
They better be
Doomben.
They get beat there.
750 into bubble.
Then sort of overcame one of the strongest buys of all time in a hard held. And the other day, and then they stretch it to that run. I think he rode it upside down. Sort of, he rode it perfect. He'd had its chance, but rode it to sort of win the race and got beaten by a horse that's got, arguably one of the better records in the country. Oh, no, it went terrible. Sunshine in Paris. Like, seriously.
She'll
some
keep
people
improving
dead set need an uppercut.
Yeah. I thought it was a great run.
Yeah. She's an ex-prep horse and continue on. But anyway.
Okay, what's she going to win in the spring, Walt? There you go. What's question without notice?
Yeah, I got no idea, to be honest. But I don't even know what a top is. It probably showed up. It's hard to say. Like, it looks like she's going to be a sprinter. I didn't know if she'd run further or whether she's a horse that just needs, a break now and come back and be ridden cold. And it's the way she finds the line when she's allowed to settle back. She doesn't look like 1,200 or 1,400 to pull her up.
What in Secret win last year? Coolmore or something, didn't it?
Yeah. So it won't be in the Coolmore, but it's pretty talented horse. But yeah, Nash's ride was the most exciting thing in that race. Like, the horse comes out half on its head and he just never panics for 1 inch. And then his interview after, he's like, it's just basically kidding to him the whole time. Like, what are they thinking they were even in the race? He's like, I just didn't want to hit the front too early. He's just, when he's on song and when, there's nothing like him there.
He wasn't on song at Goulburn on Davo's horse, wasn't he? Is that when he wasn't on song?
Yeah, but gee, I tell you what, he's been on song.
He plays a couple of different songs. he plays a couple of different national anthems.
He wasn't on song when he rode Osipenko, but I tell you what, he's ridden a couple of Bryces lately. I think he had one.
That ride yesterday, holy cow. What
was it, cut in stone or cut on gem or cut on coin or whatever it was?
It just doesn't. They run the race 20 times, I reckon.
Unbelievable.
With any other jockey, it probably never wins.
At the moment, he's his hashtag @NashHot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still on Twitter, but he's in the zone.
And the combination of those two is nice and deadly. With Bryce and Nash, holy hell, like he should dead set be cotton wool in him.
We'll have to get T-Dogs to run the data, punch the data, Nash, blah, 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 running it, all those things that you
Nash,
hate.
No, good Nash. You got to take out bad Nash. They don't count, but
dead as a doorknob.
Good Nash is very good.
Race 3, Rosehill. Let's make some money. Economics is favourite here, $2.80. Insurrection, $4. Parasol, $7. Renoso, $14. Hypothetical, $15. Duchess of Savoy, $17. Party for one of Walt's lovers, $18. Notice it's got a 2 there. You must have backed it, Walt, last start. The Poacher, $19. Cur Royale, $20. Diamond Dealer, that's what I wish I was, $26. Bruder Nell, $26. Noble Conqueror, $34. And don't worry about the rest. We're going to have a look at the Poacher 2 wins ago in the Waratah bloodstock colours. That's the white and the red. Oh boy, it's third last here. I haven't seen the replay. Peels out and goes bang.
So it was a day it wasn't easy to run on, actually. So this horse sort of had won first up. Then I think it had a failure second up when Willie Pike decided he was going to try and lead on it at Warwick Farm or something and cooked him. But this was his next run after that. So 1,200 metres sort of third up, and then it came out and got in a bumping duel and won again over 1,200. I just think he's really untapped. His win at Hawkesbury was sort of underrated too. Small field first up where Bowman sort of rode him in behind and he went up the worst part of the track there. So he's overcome biases. He's very strong when he's allowed to find his feet and Gate 1 should do that here. His 2 trials have been excellent. It's definitely not a gimme race. Like Economics would probably be going around, I don't know, around the same price as Bonus Notchus in a Lightning or something like that. So he's probably the one to beat on exposed form. But there's good pressure here depending on what horses stay in the race. There's Coates, a dual acceptor. I'd be surprised if Hypothetical came up from Melbourne, considering the draw. But even with them out, you've got Insurrection that's going to be heading forward, Diamond Dealer, Economics, Renosu and Parasol are both raced on speed, drawn inside Duchess of Savoy. So there's good natural pressure in the race no matter what. Is it a pushover race? Absolutely not. But this horse has definitely got, very good ability. It's not a pretender, and that inside draw is what will sort of make or break it. It could be a heartbreaking story around Rosehill, but if it does get the breaks, it's got the turn of foot to sort of overcome a tricky position, and sort of 20 to 1 each way looks crazy. I will be having a peanut on the old party for one for mental health reasons. If it sort of went straight to the fence, which is what I'd be telling them to do here, and just sort of ride for luck again. The horse has never had any in its life. It is due some, but if it got the back of the poacher and they came together and it peeled off its back and beat it, I would be in with the Bull Shark. So, it's a deep race. It's actually this could be a group race for 3-year-olds. But yeah, I think the poacher at 20s is just a gimme each way speculator.
Anyone got any? I think that makes perfect sense, and I can see Economics, or everyone will just fawn over that form line in behind in secret, Cornwall form, and no doubt it'll start pretty short, I would have thought. Let's push across to the Silver Slipper, the next one here, and King's Gambit is the favourite, $2.40. Platinum Jubilee $4.40, Cylinder $5, Mumbai Muse $6, Madeira Sunrise $7.50, Fire Lane $12, Carnaby is $91. The trial that we're going to have a look at here is Cylinder, and it's in the Godolphin Blue. Just go straight to the front.
The trial's probably what turned me on. Nico just gets turned on by the colours, but the actual trial itself turned me on here, and he showed a good bit of natural speed there to cross, and what I like, as soon as he sort of puts him under a strain here, he doesn't do anything other than conserve energy, just pulls him up, and when he is asked to extend in the straight, he does so. His form, was pretty solid, sort of closing second to Fire Lane, which looks pretty good form, and a second to Little Bros in Melbourne. But I think he's come back a much better horse, and that's what I'm expecting here. Obviously, 900 and 1,000 is not ideal for me for an 1,100 metres first up, but as I said, again, this trial's what the horse all behind really being asked, and he's just not. He's just absolutely cruising. The inside draw here will allow him, I would imagine, to have a decision to make if something wants to press, which is probably likely. You've got, Platinum Jubilee, Fire Lane. They've got good speed drawn out. One of them's probably going to have to go forward. If they want to go quick enough, they can cross him. If not, he can sit right behind them. I think King's Gambit's the one that you've sort of jury's out on. I'm not really sure about whether he's returned with the wrap that he had. Obviously, the shine's come off him a little bit off the first up loss, but I'm not that worried. I'm happy to sort of take him on. Platinum Jubilee has had a bit of a long, tricky prep now. I'm probably more scared of a horse like Mumbai Muse, who was just dragged out of the race there last time behind Learn to Fly. And it's the horse that could sort of settle fourth here and improve. It's probably the one I'm most scared of in the race, but I think we're getting a good price about Cylinder here. Looks pretty talented. And you talk about motivation as well for these horses this time of their start of their prep. This horse needs to win to make sure it sort of gets into the slipper. Probably King's Gambit's the only other one that's in that, well, apart from sort of Mumbai Muse horses that haven't been there. Platinum Jubilee and Fire Lane probably not under as much pressure to get it done here. So you got to think about those sorts of things this time of year. Same with country championships and stuff. There's motivation on top of ability. So yeah, Cylinder for me in the Silver Slipper. I think it's a nice price.
Cummings gave it a good rap this morning when I was driving in.
On the wireless.
Did he?
Yep, on the wireless. I know he talks funny because he's terrified about training for the Sheik and not tipping, but he did give it a good rap this morning.
Yeah, I think J Mac would be riding it if he was in Sydney. I got the feeling of that. But Brenton, he's actually looking pretty good at the moment, Big Bad Brenton. So
he's doing all right. Pretty simple this one, isn't he? Just Barry one.
It's never simple though, is it? Racing is never simple, and the coffin is never simple, which is hopefully this one is.
Nico, I saw your eyes sort of light up a bit when you saw the blue flash across the screen. What did you make of that trial? Was it arousing for you? Did your pupils dilate?
Oh, it was a good trial. I'm against him, though. I think he half gave himself up last start, Cylinder. I don't know if he's as good as people think. We were all over him last start and sort of I thought he had his chance. And I don't know if Little Bros is, he ran well in the prelude, but he's by no means the best 2-year-old. The best 2-year-old could be King's Gambit. What he did on debut was outstanding. Last start, he missed the start, slowly run race. Really had to improve his speed from the 4 to 2. I think he ran the third fastest split of the meeting, 4 to the 200, and then sort of just peaked on his run late. I've no doubt Snowden would have trained him with improvement. They've been big on him the whole time, and I think, being big, like Cylinder's obviously got talent. I think Mumbai Muse is, talented enough. I'm against the Magic Millions for them. I think they're no good, so I'd be very happy to take on Platinum Jubilee, and I think there's a real chance King's Gambit is the best 2-year-old because, he's the best 2-year-old in the spring and nothing's really put in their hand up so far. So I think just with that improvement to come, they had one trial leading to the first up run, and he might have been beat by a pretty smart horse, Red Resistance. He looks like he's riding contention for some slipper talks at least. So, I think Cylinder might not be as good as everyone thinks, and I'm happy betting up King's Gambit here. I think this is his chance to show that he's back.
Nash hot, Nash on, Nico off Blue Jacket.
I like it.
Oh, it makes me very nervous.
Drama.
I was going to chip in Cylinder. Now I'm going to chip out and just completely grey.
Oh, so hang on, can we get the Stanley out? Can we measure?
We measure.
Can we measure, yeah.
Yes. Mine, when your pills just go up to your throat and it's really cold weather, that's mine have gone down to about that.
Does it go invert?
Usually that.
Does it invert?
Down to there, the Stanley.
Does it invert?
Stanley pill measure. No. It can't go backwards.
Can't go backwards.
No, it can't. No.
Yours would invert. Inverted nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, cool.
I like it. Head to head. Let's go.
Good thing that we previewed that race.
You know what happens now?
What?
Our two take each other on and Platinum Jubilee steams down the outside. Then I'm back in the Bull Sharks again.
He can't win, surely.
Yeah. Now it can. Hobartville Stakes, race 8, AF Cabin, $1.50. Nearly fell off my chair. Nearly choked on my cornflakes. Nearly got inverted there. $1.50. Osipenko, $8. Zoo Tiger, $8. Pier, $12. Communist, $18. Machelate, $26. Brosnan, $26. Manzois, $41. Williamsburg, Prometto. They're all in the race, sort of. But the market's saying AF Cabin, barrier 11. Sweet, $1.50. This is just like, is there going to be 20 minutes before the race? Cot, change of tactics. Osipenko, 1. Nash hot. Upside down, doesn't go all the way back. Is he going to be buried? What's going to happen? This is debilitating, this barrier.
You could get the dual one. You could send Lindemann out, change the tactics from 12 to just hammer the speed with the dual tactic to be ridden closer from 1 for Nash. And there's potential fireworks, isn't there?
Timoth from barrier 11, he'll just cut across. It's a perfect draw.
And then what you love is old Reggie on Manzois would probably just jag it out, get the rails running, jam all their lives or something for the triple whammy, the Waller triple whammy.
Let's hear Nico first, because this is his fawn horse. He wanted to stay on the show for AF Cabin.
Yeah.
Tell us why it's a moral, Nico.
Well, he's just better than him, isn't he? You just showed that last start.
That's it.
Is that it? That's it.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. That's enough. Sydney racing.
Wrap it up. He just rolls forward. He's got no other option, and they've got the right bloke on the. They must have known. They must have put Timmy on just because it knew it was going to draw the car park, and then they'd need to jump him out the gates. But yeah, like I'm a huge Manzois fan. 13 gate, it is literally going to get dragged out the back. I was with Osipenko first up, and that's inexplicable what happened there. I love it. They said off it drew a gate. Well, it drew 3. I don't know what. So maybe they've say because it drew a gate here, it's drawn 1. Maybe it will improve. I don't know what they want. Go through the lineup. Zusaika certainly had his chance against last time. You can't see Machelate. You can't see Prometto being ready. Williamsburg needs another lap. Communist had its chance the other day. Brosnan the same. None of these horses can turn the table on form. So unless something strange happens, you would imagine it's going to start short. The horse that's the query runner's Pier, Sam Worthley sort of got his visa taken away from him for butchering the heck out of 4,000 horses here and sent back to New Zealand. He's back. I'm assuming that's a family member that trains it. Does look a talented horse, Pier. Adds a bit of interest to the race, and he's at least had a run, which is important if he's going to try and beat this horse on his home territory. But I would imagine AF Cabin gets away with it by default, unless Osipenko was given a light time of it first up. Let's we say it that way.
Is that Aussie's horse, Pier? Has he got another one? How many horses?
I don't think he bought it. I think they tell me he always owned it. Is that true, DK?
I don't know, but he loves buying them out of New Zealand. He's got men over there who find them in trials and things like that. he gets in and buys them. So he loves New Zealand.
He might have, apparently it raced in his colours over there. So I don't know what the story is.
He might have bought it off the
early
trial, or so he might have bought it off the trial before it raced.
So the trainer's in it, he's in it, and another dude, BW Wright. They're the only 3 owners.
They're all in on it. Oh, well.
And it's got no nuts, so he's racing it, Aussie. He's just not a grab cash and go man, which is what you want to see, isn't it?
Beautiful, just loves it.
No, he loves it.
Oh, change of tactics. The only thing that I'm interested in that race to see if Waller's playing funny buggers with Osipenko, or it's probably just dead as a doornail and a win the start after, despite Nico thinking it's no good and fawning all over Af Cabin. So in your hop at your $1.50, Nico, and knock yourself out, fill your boots, all that sort of stuff.
King's Gambit, 3-1 the double.
He's going to multi it into Nature Strip multi.
3-1 the double with King's Gambit. 7-1 the all-up with the Nature Strip
treble
from the Gate 1.
Yeah, that's what all the kids want. They want multis.
Do they?
Super multi magic.
Did he change his name? Is he rebranded?
No.
Hasn't he?
No.
I thought he changed his name.
No, he wouldn't. No way.
No. He's the best.
He's the best. Racingwatch.com.au for more of Johnny's analysis. He's the master punter. He's the man. So in his Telegram or Discord at chat.
Flight's not included.
Hey?
What?
Huh? Flight's
master punter. I was going to say master something else, but master punter.
The master of the thing you've done.
Nico, Buggy, you stayed on the show because we've got some TopSport steamers that refer. They're all Flemington horses, so I'm going to make you suffer, go through the whole show. No sick note, so you're going to have to stay. But first, we're going to go to Bris Vegas. Donny's best, 2 from 2 last week. He's on fire.
G'day, gents. Johnny's back again with this week's best bets. It was nice to go 2 from 2 last week. I was very confident then. I'm not as confident this week, so tread a little bit more carefully. I've still come up with 2 bets. They should run really good races. The first one is the Eagle Farm Race 8, the Bopper. It's 270 with TopSport. This thing's just been running incredible splits. Last start, it was over the 900 metres at the Gold Coast. On an on-speed inside day, he got right out the back, ran some enormous lace splits. Horses almost don't go as fast as this thing. I like it fresh, 1,000 metres. It looks like the 2nd, 3rd and 4th favourite will all take each other on for the lead. We'll sit back and hopefully come over the top. No moral, need to see how the track's playing, but looks a decent bet if they are able to run on around $2.70. So that's race 8, the Bopper. Rosehill, race 10, Midwest. It's $2.80 with TopSport. Wasn't given the best ride last start with the Apprentice. He comes out of a really strong race too. He raced against Maramia, Spacewalk, Dehorn Unicorn. The first 2 I mentioned, they've come out and won since, so the form's stacking up nicely. It should lead for Timmy Clark, get every possible chance. Looks to be too strong for these. I think the only danger is quick tempo at around $10. So I'm pretty keen on those 2, but no morals. Race 8 at Eagle Farm, the Bopper, and Rosehill, race 10, Midwest. Good luck, gents.
What a great human Donny is. So that's how big his balls were last week on the Stanley Tape measure, and then this week they're about this big. So make sure you stake accordingly. Staking is very important.
And he's crept over the border. He's just crept.
He sneaks in to the kill.
And Midwest is, he used to be down here, didn't it, Midwest?
Yeah, it's still Friedman's or still
still Friedman's,
Friedman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Timmy's on that as well. I tell you what, Timmy's going to have
So what about Timmy in the quarties? Goes 150 Af Cabin on a hiding to nothing. From thing. Then he goes 225 crosstalk first up. I think it's been beaten favourite about 4 times in its life. First up, good luck. And then he's the quaddie favourite in the last, whatever it is, 9-4. So he's the favourite in the last 3 legs of the quaddie, Timmy. And
his new jockey manager's doing a good job getting him on all those good chances.
Well, the funniest part is that the one I'd rather back is the first leg, which is you spirited about 20s that could improve from the gate 1. So it's the only one of the 4 I'd actually want to back. So the one in the last can win. Don't get me wrong. No, I couldn't back Af Cabin, but not at the price. But Mexico can definitely win the last. It maps very well. Timmy, it's a very nice horse for Timmy to be riding.
Oh, we'll just take Timmy Blanc and the bloody.
Well, I think he was the one that got beat ahead by Maria or whatever that come out and smashed him. And there's Timmy's another odds-on favourite there. He has given him a good book this week, Ty. I did request 10% just because I felt like it. I got denied. I got denied.
Don't have the quaddie with the TAB though. Put it out wide.
Where are you going to put it?
TopSport. Let's have a look at TopSport Steam. Flemington race 2, number 6 is Wollumbi. $415 in the vanity. Nico, I had a quick look at this race and I couldn't find this horse.
How far is that race?
1,400. Oh, I've never heard of it. What is it, Nico?
It's a Sydney cider. It's one of Walt's.
Oh, Sydney cider. North Korean.
Look, I couldn't find it either. I went looking for it thinking, this might be the horse on the upper bit, but that's a bloody strong race. Savannah, See You in Heaven, Papillion Club, absolutely flying. So yeah, I was kind of. I think that you shouldn't probably stray too far away from the inside picks in the market there.
Well, he's like had the best run you've ever seen in your life the other day to win a midweek at Warwick Farm, but the horse is a talented horse and he's absolutely like ready to go. That's all. Like I don't know anything about the field, but it's like in as good a form and well prepared as it possibly can be. Wollongong.
Flemington race 7, number 8, Marabi, 1,000 at $11. I think it's into $8.50 now.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, well, that's probably not a bad play. She'll start shorter. She probably starts second pick, I would have thought. Looking at the market, so
2-1 the place is probably the bet when it was $11.
That's what I 1 by 3.
Yeah.
I don't even go there, Nico.
1 by 44. Flemington race 9 is the next one, and it's Red Hot Nick.
Definitely not named after you.
800 at $7. Now $6.50.
that may be the hardest race ever. That last race in Flemington, there's just form coming from everywhere. There's Perth horses, and it's tough to work out. If Red Hot Nick's winning the Saturday race, he's a little battle and trial, but the rest of them behind him probably aren't much good. We found him a few times sort of throughout the winter last year and couldn't get the job done for us, but he won well last start, but geez, I don't know if I'd want to be involved.
We've got the wrong Noonan for that one. If it's got the WA meets Mexico meets we've got the wrong Noonan. Noonan.
Sub me out.
Looking at that, just another way going for the punters there too, Walt. Another $200 off that if it wins. Like if you go to the races the old days, it'd be 5,800, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
A fraction.
Exactly.
As if that's 4,800 there. Just another way the punters have been handled over the years. Fractions are gone. Corporate bookies, no fractions.
Gold Coast fractions is still kicking though.
Is he?
He's fractions.
He's still going on.
He's the best fractions.
He'll never get. He'll never kill him. He's the best. He'll outlive us all.
Yeah. Genius.
He'll outlive us all.
I would have thought. At race 9, number 3, Wellwall, 300 at 19, now $13.
So it's the Waller thing that had one start over
Duck
the
egg. Yeah. Duck egg out.
Obviously, he's just not a first up man, but
didn't it cop Frankie in the duck egg?
It did, and it was. I think he gave it the full Frankie too. I think it's at. Well, I don't know, cover. I haven't had a good look at that race, but
didn't this horse get the full racing bloody?
Is it the one?
This is the one that they got into the Golden Eagle field.
Yeah,
This is Red Alert. This is Danger Will Roberts. Is
the Queen in it as well? Was the Queen in Wellwall?
Hey?
Was the Queen in Wellwall as well?
It
could have all of it. It could have
the King, the Queen.
How, in hindsight, was that not the dumbest thing in the history of the world, not declaring that the Queen's horse on Australia Day or whatever?
Oh,
yeah. Oh my God.
He's big like that, isn't he, Waller?
He's big, and this could be another one.
Wellwall. Now $13.
If you put the T on the end, it'd be a much better name.
Wellwalt.
Yeah.
Make sure you put it in
like
the
name
body.
more. Yeah.
We're going to bet a lot of exotics this weekend. Outstanding.
If you look through the stat, remember we were bagging all the international jockeys over the spring, how they all went no good. Buick off on a lot of these runners, like Sulphur Car. I think they've had like 5 starts and 3 of them have won. Buick off, so Detori off could be the same maybe.
It's a winnable race, old Wellwall's race. That's the race where Crosstalk's even money first up. So I'd be taking if there is actual solid money for it late. Scary horse.
Tell you what, PV, I'll be sending J-Mac a little note. How's J-Mac snuck down to Flemington and just abandoned New South Wales? He'd be lucky to be let in.
He may not be allowed.
His favourite horse, mate. His favourite horse.
Maybe that's why old Calendar's been bagging him this week. Maybe they're not happy. Maybe the team's not happy.
So negative article comes out.
I should have sold that one to DK before the show. He could have thrown me under the bus with that one. You could have thrown me under. That actually makes sense. That's how sick racing is. That makes sense. That they're actually not happy that he's decided to go down there for a couple of meetings, and so they have a little shot at the title at him.
Wow.
Anyway,
well, that'll learn him and teach him, but it's all going to fall into Timmy's lap.
I love it that he's supposed to ride every winner. Just because a horse is $4 and James McDonald's on it means that it should be winning. Like it should be $8. Now it's $4, and anyway, whatever.
Great stuff. All right, big thanks to our new sponsor, Stanley. Pills on the line. Beautiful stuff there. Nico, in your...
Are you serious?
What's that?
Is Stanley actually, or are you just...
No, you're attempting... No, that was a joke.
It's a joke, but you've actually given them 6 times more airtime than the people actually sponsoring the show.
Oh, well, Punting Foreman, Comics Lounge and TopSport, they're written on the show, and then they're on there twice, all shows.
Everyone,
so you can
all
see
they see is DK's face when they look down there. They don't see anything, though. They're just absorbed. It's like looking in the sun. You can't look away.
Nico, good luck on Saturday. We'll make sure you get them out of our mail. It's very important for this meeting. There's a couple of horses that could be a little bit soft and a couple screwed down. So make sure.
And he's the only one left. He's a dying breed.
Well, exactly.
He's the last man standing.
Last of the Mohicans.
Hopefully we can find a few winners for the punters at Heathcote at Flemington because, gee, it's a good day, but it's bloody tough looking at it. So, yeah, like I said at the top, if you can find a few, I think you'll be well rewarded.
Yeah, Scoot, just before we go, we had that sad news come through on the weekend that a friend of Scoot and mine's and ex-Rails bookie in Victoria, Kevin Saber, very sadly passed away. I spent a lot of time going to the races with Kev. I worked for him, used to sub for him. Scoot, been to Warrnables and Swan Hills, loved a racing carnival. Darwin, he's got a beautiful partner in Deb. Very, very sad news. Hasn't been a great couple of weeks. We lost the king, Tony Burke. That was probably more mercy than anything. He was cast the king, poor bugger. So, but he's gone, and Dean Lester's in a bit of trouble at the moment too. But very sad news regarding Kevin Saber's Scoot.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And a friend of the show. He loved listening. He used to ring me. He used to listen to the show and give me a phone call. Oh, this is what you talked about on the show, or this and that. So, I knew you were friends with him too, Scoot. Very sad.
Yeah, terrible news, and thoughts with the families of everyone going through a rough trouble at the moment. So yeah, ripper bloke and real bubbly and great fun on the D floor. And I tell you what, he used to have a couple of jars and he used to get the tongue wagging and.
Yeah, he loved a carnival. They were the highlights of his year. Swan Hills and Darwin's and Warrnables, and he loved it.
Yeah, so
everybody
really bad news there.
Characters disappearing out of the game and they're not being replaced, are they? It's a shame there's not new blood coming through.
Anyway, we'll keep things ticking over in here. But thanks for listening. Good luck on the weekend, and hope you have a blinder.